Okay, I've kind of been seeing this girl called Rose.
It's Rose. It's always fucking Rose, man.
All right, cool. Well, let's talk about your film, Acid Amorè. So just kind of my thoughts about it. Like, I thought it was, obviously funny and stuff and kind of like a silly premise, but I was actually also surprised at how it actually had like a message and there was some heart to it. And I was impressed by the acting. A lot of shots were very inventive and like creative. So, it's like, even though the story and the premise has very like comical, silly elements, there's a lot of depth to the filmmaking and there's depth to the story as well. So that's what kind of stood out to me about this film. So, can you tell me just a little bit about you and your filmmaking background, acting?
Yeah. So I originally I went to an acting school, and I graduated that about two years ago here in Sydney. I think it's like the typical thing. Obviously, actors, it's the whole you don't wait for the phone to ring. You make your own work. So I started to teach myself how to write, so I can make the roles that I wanted to play.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it started. And then like I started just making little shorts for my friends, and then I realized I really I loved it. Like it was almost on par with acting. It was like that was like a second love. And then even for this one, for Acid, like this is my first time directing, and even just doing that, like had a ripper time. Like that, it was just So I think now I can't decide if I want to be like it's pretty half and half about acting and filmmaking.
Okay, nice. So, have you acted in like other productions, or are you doing mostly like indie and your own stuff?
Yeah, so I'm like some of my biggest stuff are mainly indie feature films. I shot a movie called Drax with James Dimitri, which just went over to Melbourne Queer Film Festival. And then other than that, I shot a little indie feature with another director called Jack Kearney called The Prep Room, which is now you can stream it on Amazon. But other than that, like real indie features and then theater. But other than that, like
Nice.
nothing major. So that's why I'm like, I've got to start making my stuff from the ground up.
Yeah, exactly. I totally feel that way. Like sometimes it can be frustrating with like gatekeepers, and like just hoping someone gives you the role that you want. So yeah, I've also tried to be like more proactive about it, and I've made a lot of indie comedies as well like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't like waiting around for people to tell me if I'm good enough or not. It's like I want to
No.
make
And I think
what I like. Yeah.
And I was gonna say, and like when I first started, it's like, because obviously like I didn't graduate film school, so I didn't like actually understand like the basis of it. So I remember like I'd write a short film script and I'd like shop it around to like people who I knew at AFTRS or like different film schools, and no one would want to make it. And then I realized like I can just do it. Like you don't need to wait for someone to tell you like you don't need someone to pick up your script. You can just pick it up and make it yourself. And if it's shit, then it's bad. Then it's on you.
At least you learn from it, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, exactly. So, what inspired you to make this specific film and this story? What was the inspiration for that?
Well, funny enough, so we have this thing in Australia called Trot Fest. I'm not sure if you've heard about it. It's like one of
No.
Australia's biggest film festivals. And they have special requirements. So for Trot Fest, your film has to be under 7 minutes, and it has to include their signature item, which is an hourglass. I'm not sure if you saw that in the film, but like so that you have a
Okay.
signature item every year, and
Huh.
it's massive. And it used to be like one of Australia's biggest festivals, and after COVID, it went away for about 5 or 6 years, I think, and then it finally came back this year. So I got like me and my buddies got together like let's make a film for this Trough Fest, and we got pre-selected, but then we didn't make it into the finalists. And me and my friends, we poured so much heart into it. Like it was kind of like a little passion project. We didn't want it just to die because the film festival rejected us. So then we're like, let's just keep it going. So it was originally created for a very specific festival, and now it's kind of taken off and
Yeah, different direction. Like
things. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good attitude too, is like try not to let like a rejection, stop you. Or
Totally.
I saw like a video recently online about some guy who made a short film, an indie film, and it got rejected from a lot of places like Tribeca and like Sundance. Got all these rejections, and then they just said, "We're just going to post it online now." And then it blew up, and then went viral, and like a lot of famous people, So it's like that's kind of encouraging, and it's like it's hard not to get discouraged when something is rejected like that,
Yeah.
but it's good to just keep pushing it, So
Yeah, and I think that's where like filmmakers and actors like they can merge. I mean, like as actors, we hear no all the time. Like every audition, like it's rare you book something, and I've met like so many filmies when their film gets rejected, they kind of like back pocket it or put it on the shelf. When I'm like, that's like a no should encourage you, like should ignite that little flame in your belly to like keep it going. You know?
exactly. Yeah, and like yeah, you never know who's gonna like watch it and resonate, who it's gonna resonate with. But like,
Totally.
but this specific idea, um, did it come from somewhere specific? Like, I don't know, inspiration from like something that happened in real life, or is just kind of random
Yeah.
idea that you know?
Well, I think the obviously the major film, the theme of the film is love, but I think like especially with the elf and the cupid is like the devil and the angel on the shoulder, which is like the way people see love. It's either like this fun, you don't need like sleep around, and then there is like the love romantics, the hopeless romantics, and I think like at my point in life when I was writing that, I was kind of torn between like what love is to me and where I sit with it. And then I think this script was just kind of like a concoction of that, which is like my own inner monologue. Especially through those two characters, the elf and the cupid. They're my two inner monologues that were kind of had the cogs turning.
Yeah, and I liked how your character was all worried about how this girl perceived something, and then at the end he talked to her on the phone and she like took it the opposite way. I think
Yeah,
that's a cool like relatable theme, and like happens a lot where you're worried, you're paranoid about something that you said. You're like, oh no, what if I said this and then they're taking it this way, and then the reality is they took it a completely different way. So I think it's
totally.
very relatable. And so when you're writing this, did you consciously think, hey, I want to add some heart to this. I don't want it to just be silly. Or did it kind of go that way naturally? Or, because like for me, when I write like a comedy, sometimes I try to add meaning into it and then it
Yeah,
feels too forced and it feels like,
I agree.
and sometimes when I just go for what is funny and interesting and exciting, then sometimes the meaning just comes out naturally. So
Totally.
how is that for you?
I completely agree with what you said on the second point. I had this really a really close professor tell me that like it's so easy to get caught up in your head when you're writing. When he said just write what you enjoy, what you have fun writing, and let the audience find their own meaning. So I think like as humans, we're always grasping for understanding, for meaning, and we will find it ourselves. There you go. We'll find it ourselves no matter what because we need it. Not to say that I wasn't writing with any meaning, but I think like definitely those first couple drafts was just like, here's a fun story about love. And then as I refined, everyone kind of grabbed something a little bit different from it. But yeah, I don't think writing with specific heart. I think the ending was meant to still be funny, and then everyone who's watched it was actually like, that's actually pretty sweet at the end. I'm like, well,
Yeah,
there you go.
exactly. Yeah, that's a good example. And that's how I felt too. I was like, wow, that's actually, yeah, pretty sweet. That's exactly how I
Yeah.
felt about that. And what about the process of shooting this, and the process of acting in it? Like,
Yeah,
was there any challenges like doing both, and any other
totally.
challenges that came up?
Yeah, so obviously when I had this script, I hit up my lovely my DOP Mark Robinson. And he's really great. I worked on him with on like a little featurette earlier, and I knew like he had the skills for it. And then it's good. You kind of need a team to like who's just going to support you, because I knew I wanted to direct it. It's my first time directing, and I was just like, I remember when I wrote the script, like I know what I want. I know the vision, and I need to try reach that. But I also knew that I want to act in it because I'm egotistical. So I was like, I've got to act in it too. So I think I just told Mark beforehand, I'm like, look, I'm gonna try my best to direct and act, but I also need a second opinion. So like Mark was second director on set pretty much. Like if I didn't know what I was doing, Mark was there to pull me in line. And I think the team you have around you is probably the most important. But yeah, we found the location. It was I shot a horror movie there. And I got really close with the owner of the house. And I just hit him up again. I was like, hey, man, do you mind if we shoot in your basement again? So it was like this really creepy basement that we turned into like this little, like this boy's shack. And then, yeah, we spent like 3 days down there just shooting. It was a really small crew, like less than 10 people. Yeah, I think art, like especially like our art design, like Izzy, our production design, it goes such a long way. Like just from it makes that little basement, like from what was a horror film, look really cozy and really like that 70s show.
Yeah. Wow, that's a good. I didn't make that connection, but yeah, now it feels like that 70s show a lot.
Yeah, that was our major inspiration.
Yeah, what do you think about when it comes to directing? Something I like to ask because I kind of see two sides to this, is where some directors are super meticulous. They like having everything planned out. They like to like every detail rehearsed and prepared. And then on the other side is sometimes, I guess, some directors like to have more, I don't know, are more spontaneous and like to just be open to things. And then there's some balance there too, that some people like to have a balance. What about you? How do you handle that?
Like having no experience as a director, I've been taught directing. The only experience I can bring to any of these roles is from acting. And I know, like, personally, I do my best work, and like the best art is found like in the moment when you're just riffing and you're just like letting the cogs turn, the juices go. Especially on set, I feel like I was pretty forgiving. I think it was just there was some takes where I just let the camera roll and just let the actor, I said, just like forget the script, just do your thing. But I think like the biggest thing is like I was always told like you prep, and then you let go as an actor. You just let go. So I think like same thing. I kind of attacked with this film was like we prep, we shot list, then we get on the day, and you don't have to treat the shot list as Bible. It's like at the end of the day, it's your film. You can make whatever. Yeah. Sky's the limit. If you want to suddenly make the room red and it makes no sense, you can just do it. So I think just like learning to just like let go and to play and to have there's that certain shot that you saw where like we climb up the stairs and the camera whip pans and smoke blows out.
Yeah.
Like that was all found in the moment. That was just we're just like let's just blow a smoke machine in there. Let's just see what happens. Or like let's do a whip pan, and then also like when they're crawling over the table and the camera's pulling back, like all of that stuff found in the day.
That's right. Yeah, that's crazy with like the different the different shots that you did and stuff like that. So I really like that as well. And so the other question is so basically what you were saying is that you like to prepare and rehearse and everything, but on the day you like to be open and let things just kind of flow and not be too strict about what you planned. Like you like
totally
that's kind of how you balance it, right?
Yeah, and I think like obviously when you get into more bigger and professional sets, that probably wouldn't fly. But I think like having the crew be like 10 of my closest mates. I think you can tell in the film as well. It's just like it's a bunch of people like mucking around, having fun, and there's happened to be a camera in the room. Like that was us just generally like trying to have a laugh just between ourselves. Like on the day, as long as we could make each other smile, that was a win. And we happened to capture it on film. But I think like, I think that's probably the best approach. Is just you prep, and then you just let it go.
Yeah, I like that. And I also thought like all the actors really good and felt authentic, you know. It wasn't
Yeah.
like it wasn't like forced the comedy or anything. Like it just felt natural, felt real. So I really like that aspect of it.
Thank you, man.
So
Thank you.
yeah, we talked about how maybe like when you wrote it was you weren't trying to focus too much on like a specific message and just kind of taking the story where it wanted to go. But now that you've finished it, what are some things that you'd kind of like the audience to take away or to feel when they watch it or think or what do you think about that?
The audience take away. I think it's just. I mean, when I was so like the whole like the mini metaphors throughout it is like obviously each stage of the high is a stage of a romantic relationship. So stage one is the honeymoon, and the effects of the drug
Yeah.
is the same. You know, so like jelly legs, you get nervous, and stage two is the make or break, where it's like you don't know what this feeling is, and then you have the devil on your shoulders and the devil and angel, and then the third stage is the yield, where you either give into love or you take out. And I think like not to sound or sappy and dare I say cringe, but I think just to follow your heart. Like if you love someone, you have to tell them. And just I think people are so scared these days, and they dance around love on eggshells. Where it's just I think, yeah, love wholeheartedly. And I think I said that message. I think I like that this film is the biggest, silliest, stupid message that just to say love completely.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, I think that's what I took away from it. So it was successful. Um, what about you hear me, Finn? Hello?
Yeah, I think I'm back. Sorry, mate.
All right,
Yeah.
no problem. All right, and the other thing I like to ask is like, what do you think you learned from making that this film? You know, you said that this is like your first time directing. What do you think were some of the biggest lessons that you learned from this?
Some of the biggest lessons I learned, I think, I mean, well, a big one is to totally trust your actors. I mean, like, again, first time directing, so I haven't had many experience directing other actors. But I think like when I was casting, I picked people who I know could like they understood the script, and when I got there on the day, they just let it fly and they knew. So I think especially when it comes to casting and who you pick to film, like especially when it comes to indie filmmaking, I feel like acting is sometimes the last thing that gets thought about. It's always like DOP, locations, lighting, sound, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, then we get actors in. When I think like actors actually play like a huge part in, especially like specific characters. And yeah, and just to trust your actors. I mean, like, quick little funny story, but like, Harris, who plays a mole, I'm not sure if you know, but he's got a black eye and a broken wrist. It's never explained in the film, but like, he rocked up on set that day, and he just asked for it. He said, "Hey, can I have a black eye and a finger?" And I was like, "Why?" He goes, "I don't know, I just feel like it." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And like, it makes no sense in the film, but it's just funny. It's just, and I'm like that, like, you just like trust your actors' instincts, just let them do their thing. I think a big thing, and then obviously, like we touched on it earlier, it's like it's just to back yourself, even if your ideas sound stupid on film, just to gun it. Even when the film's done and you get rejected, just keep it going as long as you love it.
Yeah.
But I think like moving forward, if I was to do this again, I think I'd like not to get too technical, but I'd love to do some actual like pre-shoots and like test out like lenses and maybe lighting and actually because I think like yeah, I think style is a big thing. I think like we did end up finding a style in the end, but that was a complete accident. I wouldn't mind actually trying to have a crack at creating something specific to
Yeah.
a camera.
Yeah, I think it was actually like you said. It did feel pretty stylistic and cinematic, which I thought was cool. Yeah, I think that's a good lesson. Like, yes, similar to what we're talking about before. Like, trust the actors and be open, right, to like changing things, and don't be so as people say, like precious about what you wrote or what your vision is. And that's kind of hard to juggle that because you want to have a vision and people to trust your vision, but you don't want to be so rigid with that that you're not able to experiment, you know?
Exactly,
So
exactly.
yeah. And I remember like a short comedy I did where a crew member said something funny on just like on set, like we weren't even rolling, and I was like, that was hilarious. I'm putting you in the film. Like
That's
just
yeah.
like that's the kind of thing that I like, is like that spontaneous stuff. Like, that was funny. I'm gonna put that in the film. I'm putting you in the film, even though you're like the audio guy. Like, I don't even care. Like, maybe that's a little too crazy, but sometimes it's cool to be.
I love that stuff. I mean, like that is that's actually 50% of our film. Like, I like at the start, that whole thing of Amol saying, "I want to see the devil tonight," and screaming. He came up with that. Like, that was just him doing that as a joke in like pre-rehearsals, and we kept that in. Or in the very end scene where we're in the void and the elf comes around with the vape and he hits the vape and falls down. Like, all that was just him like doing it in the moment. Like, we're adding that in. That's hilarious.
Yes, I think that's a great lesson for people, is like, be open to like big changes. And I think some people are nervous about that. It stresses them out to think of like, oh, that's not what we planned. That's not what I had in my mind. But like, if you say like, that's an awesome idea, that's funny, it's cool to be open to that stuff.
Totally.
Well, all right, cool. And do you have anything coming up? Any thoughts about also like this film, making it a feature or anything like that, or what do you think?
Yeah. Well, so this Acid Amorè is actually going to Gold Coast Film Festival here in Australia, which is it's a pretty big festival for Aussies. That will be our Australian premiere. Where the boys and girls were keen to fly out and watch that.
Nice.
And after that, we're kind of we have a couple more short films that are about to come out, and we just got selected into another big festival for another short. I think all of this is building. I mean, at the end of the day, I started writing short films because I think I want to. The dream is to Goodwill Hunting yourself, is to write a feature and make it with your friends. So I think like all these short films, technically for me, are just testers. I'm like testing what works, what doesn't. So when I eventually get to making a feature film, I've got that under my belt. So I think really the end goal is to keep making short films, making fun stories, so then I can eventually get a feature film out there, which is our little crew that we're working with is currently developing something like that.
That's awesome. Nice. All right, cool. Well, that's pretty much everything for the interview, but it was awesome talking to you, and I really enjoyed the film. I was really impressed by it, and I'm looking forward to your future films and what you got going on. So yeah, it was awesome learning more about your film. Hello?
Yeah, mate, sorry about that. Yeah.
No problem. Yeah, I was just saying, look forward to checking out what you got going on next, but it was great talking to you.
It's great talking to you too, man. I'll see you again, eh?
All right, Finn. Have a good one. See you around.
See you later,
Bye.
Dave. See you later, mate.